I have to say, we are very, very fortunate to have Legacy Lumber because getting all of these boards, antique heart pine, we could have made these out of regular pine and bought that and stuff, but we're trying to keep as much stuff as original as possible. But to be able to get antique heart pine that looks like this, that's literally almost pristine, is amazing to me. And so we're working on getting our pieces cut. So what I'm doing is my shutters, each one of these windows, sorry, let's get the sun out first. Each one of these windows openings are different. The first window opening is 37, the next one is 35, and the next one is 34 1/4. And the bricks aren't always even. So each one of these are slightly different. So we are cutting these to length, 56 inches, and we're gonna then rip them down to the width. That way we get 5 pieces for each one. So if it's 17 inches, we're gonna cut them down to 3 1/4, and so on. If it were a 15-inch wide shutter, then it would be 3 inches each. So that way they will fit in. You won't notice the size difference from the ground, but this way they will fit in and be consistent. And look at this, it's just beautiful. So I've got all of this in here, so I'm sorting it. These are for the lower windows, which are longer, and using the shorter ones, of course, down here. All right, so we're covered with sawdust, as you can see, but we've got now all of our boards here cut. We got 20 pieces that we'll go through, and we'll round over all the edges here, and then they can be painted, and then we'll assemble them. The good thing about painting them completely before we put together is they'll be well preserved in between the cracks and things. And we want to make sure that everything we do here lives on, way beyond me being here. That's the key on all of this. All right, so here's all of our boards, and the things that amazes me is how true this lumber is. I can't find straight lumber when I go to the hardware store. I mean, you know, the home centers. Yeah, go through a whole stack of it. I guarantee you won't find anything this straight anywhere in a store like that. So now my work is done for a while now. I'm going to take these upstairs on the sawhorses for my wife to paint all these, and then once they're painted and dried out, then we can all put it together. That way they will definitely be protected well. And in the meantime, I'm going to go get some body filler here to fill this in, so that way we can work on getting the store together. And maybe, just maybe, I'll go on to Harrisonburg and get the box of siding, so that way I can do this door here and actually have an entranceway and finish off the siding and the fascia up in here, so that way the neighbors have a little better view of the back of the red brick house. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at what we've done now that we've had a blooper and she stopped us. We've got these grow lights that are in here, and it wasn't easy, but we had to cut like a little slot up here so we could get the wires down here, strap them up in there, so that way we have the grow lights in place. We varnished one side of it. We're trying to push the envelope here. We need to go ahead and varnish this side of them. We're not going to actually put glass in them, but varnish those up so that way they'll be in there. And touch up the paint. We've taken off the old blocks and stuff, but color wise it's kind of a good combination there. So this kind of matches up with the bricks when you're looking back at it, and definitely kind of a quaint little room here, you know. It definitely pops. We've got still other work we need to do in here. We've got the cracks up here. We need to fix the mortar. I think we're going to put a crown molding in on the top of this and seal it, because we do get a little bit of crumbs and stuff off of the wall and things, you know, between the old house and the new house. And then there's here, we need to put you can see where they had a block of wood here to help hold a nail to, but we need to fix that kind of stuff. It's little stuff like this. Just go back up and point up the mortar, and then we'll put a real heavy bead of caulk in there to seal it in there. That way we won't get any crumbles coming out of it. And now, take a look at here. This is the other bookcase. We got the doors on here. We did have to notch the kick plate in there because we do have a heat register right there. But you start looking at this now, it looks really, really good. You know, having the floor pop with the other floor, the white blending in with that, it makes the bricks look a lot nicer. You know, I like the bricks. I think what we're going to do, at least for now, This is an easy solution for this because we're not sure if we want to open this up, and when we do open it up, you can see there's a lot of damage on the bricks. So this will be kind of a major project. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a sheet of finished grade plywood like we have on the back of the cabinets, paint it with exterior paint on both sides so that way if there's any moisture with the brick it won't damage it. But we'll cut it out the size of the wood here and put a little shoe molding around it. That way it'll give us a nice flat wall. We'll finish the post and stuff and get the mantle in here, and that'll be at least finished enough for the time being. And we're going to do another built-in over here on this side, so when I go back home I'll take the measurements and make another one of these, so that way it'll fill it all in there. The nice thing will be is we can put a small TV on the rack there, so that way if somebody's here, you know, as a guest or something, maybe it goes over here on this side. You've got a television to kind of have this as a nice little space. The nice thing is this couch right here, this pulls out and becomes a sofa bed. So this is actually a guest room. The nice thing is these cabinets right here gives us lots and lots of storage space in there. So it's kind of, when you remember what this room used to look like, and once we get the crown molding on here, it's going to be really nice. Now, question here is the bricks. I love this effect just as it is. You can see where I had to fill in the mortar because there was actually pipe holes that were in there, and that's some bricks that I put in there. There's some bricks that have paint on it. The question is, do we leave it like that? Do we paint the brick? Or, as my wife said, maybe we need to put a big-ass TV on it to hide it. But I'd like your opinion on what we should do with that. But definitely, when you think about how this room looked before we sanded the floors and before we did the walls, I actually love the effect of the wall. You know, to me, that reminds me of like the Old West. And when I get the pistols from my friend, we've got some Civil War pistols that are actually coming. Real Civil War pistols from my friend Joseph Heatherly. I could see those going up here and looking really nice. We've got some of the antique tools from Judy over there, from her father or her grandfather, that'll go up in here as well. And so for me, the whole eclectic look and the collection of so many different things, to me, is actually really cool. Oh, check this out. Now, you want to talk about some old stuff. Let me turn on the ceiling light here. Look at this phone. This is a switchboard phone. Okay, now check this. So what they would answer this, and they'd say hello, and you could switch it to any of these 5 different locations. So it's whatever phone that you'd go to somebody else's. So yeah, that was a very small switchboard, 5 phones. So it's kind of cool to have old pieces like that in here at the Red Brick House. So that's where we are. And
Did you say where it came from?
oh, from my father-in-law, Bobby Howard, as well as the sewing machine over there. We do need to get the actual sewing machine part that actually goes inside of there as well. One other thing too, I can't do it until I make the other bookcase, but we're going to put crown molding all the way around through here, and I think we'll do the same thing, and pretty much we'll end up doing it throughout the house. The only bad thing is it's not cheap to buy it, and unfortunately I'm saddened because one of the institutions of woodwork and stuff, Smoot Lumber in Alexandria, where I used to buy a lot of my contractor stuff from, they've closed that location, which has been there since like 1830. They literally, during the Reconstruction and everything else, they were the builder and producer of lumber, and they had been there for that long, but they were bought out by another company, and they've decided to consolidate with some of their other locations, and I'm definitely saddened that Smoot Lumber won't be there anymore. I guess that's one of the reasons why this place is so important to me, is I've always heard, if you don't know where you've been, you certainly don't know where you're going. And when you have places like that that literally built, you know, the Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area, that's a place that should be always there for people to go through. I loved going there and seeing the old windows just like we have here. Heck, for all I know, the windows might have been made of smooth lumber. And seeing all the historic moldings like they had at the Naval Academy and stuff like that, and being able to get stuff custom for old places like this. It's sad to see it go, and I'm losing a lot of good friends from there as well. All right, good people, I've got to get ready for my live stream on my other channel, talking about what else, the Dallas Cowboys, as we get ready to have a big week in the NFL. And keep plugging away at it. The thing that I love about this place and being here is every day it changes. It literally does. If you'd come here yesterday, the top wasn't in here, the doors weren't in here. Heck, this piece wasn't even put together till last night. So to see this now up and in place is incredible. Same thing with the the China press over there. We just started working on the doors yesterday. Oh, you get them varnished, and